Hey, 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 what do you say? Reality TV Tarot. And as always, entertainment purposes only. I'm going to do a reading about Rob Reiner. What an awful, 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 horrific incident that happened. The unalive of him, allegedly by his son. It's just so awful. I want to look at it a little differently, possibly from a past life connection with him and his son, and then we'll end it with some angel reflection to see what we can find out on an energy soul level. All right, let's say a little prayer for Rob. 1, 2, 3, heavenly angels. This reading is for Rob and his soul reflection on the horrific unalive of him. What protection energy for the reading? Okay, so to start with, I have these past life cards. That I'm going to use for the first part of it. It was just so, so sad and so terribly. And one of the big lessons is we need to take mental illness seriously. And I know Rob and his wife tried over and over. They never gave up. But how serious mental illness is, especially when allegedly, there was some psychosis that happened from his breakup from reality. Because that was like a rent out of control type of unalive event. Okay, Rob, guardian angels of him, give us a past life information about Rob and his connection of this unalive allegedly by his son. Give us some past life connection about Rob's recently unalive. Okay. Karmic relationship with his son. Oh, a Roman connection in a past life. Transportation. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up transportation. I don't read these cards often. What's transportation? I can get a karmic relationship with his son, going back to Roman time. And transportation. It says for transportation, is I'm going to read from this. This card signifies that you had intense experiences involving transportation in your prior lifetimes. In those cases, you likely suffered a traumatic past life event of some type. Maybe if it's Roman, it could be some kind of past life on the chariot, on the horse. In this Roman and having a traumatic event, a tragic event by possible horse or chariot, is your life purpose involved reawakening and acknowledgments um, about alternative transportation to benefit the world. And I kind of reading that as the safety effect. Maybe he brought forward the safety effect, a lesson, transporting from a karmic relationship. And it would be the safety effect really would be more on his mental illness of his sons. Let's see what we got. Ships, love life, and wisdom. Ships, yeah, I could see in a karmic relationship with his son, ships, like two ships crossing in the night. You know, it's like, remember look at those back then. Remember even the movie Master and Commander, where you have maybe the English and French were enemies then, and they slowly pass by. Do they hurt each other in a battle of war or not? In a Roman life, there was a love life line. It could have been um, they were brothers in a past life. Love doesn't actually have to be romantic love, but a connection in a past life with his son. In a love life, he could have been it could have been a sister, it could have been a wife, but somehow they were connected by the heartstrings in a past life, which could indicate how strong Rob's devotion to his son and transportation of movement. And here's the unicorn saying some wisdom coming forth from the past. The wisdom, and the head is down with this unicorn going forward. So the wisdom really was, he went back and forth of, when do I bail him out money-wise? When do I listen to the experts? When do I listen to myself? Transportation went back and forth, back and forth. 1 week, I'm here. How do I know what to do to help this kid? Alrighty, let's look at some angels here. Some angel cards. These are angel cards and the guardian angels around this incident of unaliving. So, 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 so sad. Oh my gosh. Let's see what we have here first is 6 of emotions. Memories can fill your heart with many emotions. It's important to remember your past accurately. So, without seeing it as better or worse, people you used to know may return to your life unexpectedly. Children could be an important issue, and you may need to find the inner child. So, I could see where his past life of the emotional connection, you had that love card. Another emotion, messenger of emotion. This was Rob's experience with his son Nick on this lifetime. Was an experience that grew deeper. a messenger of emotion. And let's see what else we got. Messenger of abundance. Well, definitely Rob had that, a new job, a new career. He had a challenging, fulfilling work life. Had some guardian angels around him. Two emotional cards that his relationship with his son was very emotional. How do I ever let go? Even when I let him be homeless, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, how can I help this kid of mine? I'm so connected to him, as we saw in the past life reading. What is this next one? It's called Angels Activation. What's the Angels Activation have to say? We sure hope, Rob, that this unalive had a purpose to, and I believe Rob would like that it helped fuel a purpose in today's society. The time is now. Hmm. Another angel activation was divine compensation. Hmm. And the gift of your presence. Huh. The gift of your presence. That would go back to the thought pattern that souls incarnate, not all, because there is dark energy, but souls incarnate to play a role of adversity to provide. So I wouldn't have learned my lesson on a soul level if I hadn't had some adversity to learn and grow. That's a hard one to take when he becomes unalive. Um, the empath card. No, it's and the bottom of it is realize a shield of protection. And I kind of see that, Rob, the shield of protection around him and as his soul begins to heal and unwind on a soul level of what was this karmic relationship with my son Nick for the ending of my lifetime as Rob to end so tragic, so publicly tragic. His past life that he had. Let's pull more past life. Let's see what we can get. Asia. Well, I think I have two cards here. Felt like it. These are thick cards. Mm. In Asia, you had an imprisonment or slavery, and then lessons and blessings. So the past life is saying there are lessons and blessings, and sometimes hard lives. Well, there definitely was a karmic relationship between the two. I want to know a little bit more about the karmic relationship. Let's do let's go back to the tarot and see if that can give us some information. I mean, we know the son was probably allegedly in a psychosis moment to unalive in the manner that he did, because it was savage. So, what was some of the karmic relationship? The journey, star, the Queen of Swords, uh, karmic relationship of getting to the truth of being a parent with a kid with severe mental illness. So Rob started the journey with his son, going off a cliff on a new adventure with it, and the stars hope that there's one foot in up in heaven and other foot on earth. He's hoping the Queen of Swords could give him the truth that we could figure this out. Mhm. But all the emotional work I did, this is a grief card. I was grieving through the years. Um, a, a, a child like that, up and down a sweet spot, then back to being raging. He was probably grieving. Rob was most likely, it's saying he was grieving for years emotionally about the river flowing in front of him, and he was grieving about it. He might have said, "Does this ever end?" Oh, and it ended with the swords in his back. That's sad that for him, it unalived his body to end his grieving pain. And it came fast. As we know, it came fast. And the Page of Cup was there, the youthful, emotional energy. You see the fish? I'm something different out of a cup. I'm not the regular kids you know in the neighborhood. The Page of Wands. He took the journey, a different journey, with raising this kid, hoping to find justice in all this. Where can I find the justice of my grieving? Because he probably grieved for years. Where can I find the justice? How can I get my heart and my minds and thoughts to a place where it all makes sense? How can it make sense for me? This was his journey. How can it make sense? I did well in an earthly presence. But how can it make sense? There's the battle. I take my swords and I go away. Just give an angel card. Steve wants to know how to make sense of all this. Years and years and years of trying to help this kid for it to end in such a tragic way. How do I make sense of it? How do I make sense of it? I picked the same card. Visualization is shield of protection. Well, this one is like putting a shield around you to keep the negativity out. Practice humility. Yeah. I'm sure there are times when when you have a child like that, you don't get to boast about their accomplishments. Yeah, my kid today took his medicine and now he's not, psychosis. It kind of goes away. He had to release his critical voices within him. How did he make sense of this on a soul level? He had to identify his emotional triggers. So What was he triggered to get in an argument that that at the party? Um, he was emotionally triggered. Instead of saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's take a break from this and we'll talk about it later." Oh, he had to release shame around what was going on with his kid and learn how to comfort himself. So how he on a soul level to make sense of it is there were soul growth development to work on, to learn to practice humility when you're around other people and you're like, "Yeah, I don't get to boast that my kid went to, Notre Dame as a master's now." He had to rel he had to an opportunity to learn to release critical voices within. I'm sure he said a million times, "Why me? Why am I going through this experience with this kid?" Well, that's the past life card, "Why me?" And then he had emotional triggers, so he got emotionally triggered to argue with him on that day. Couldn't remain calm and say, "We'll talk about it later." He had to probably release shame and learn to comfort himself through this life many years with his son. Get a kid, that uh, takes a lot of energy and time and constantly thinking about how to help him. Because this is the second time we've got this card, lessons and blessings. Why me? The lessons. The lessons in his soul growth to learn from. Well, that's it. He had a lot of lessons. He had some angels around him to guide him. And he had definitely past life karma with him. I'd like to end this reading with a prayer for Rob and Nick. We'll get to Michelle on another reading. Rob and Nick, in your soul contract of this tragic experience, I pray that there is healing around both the souls. And Rob, we're going to miss you on earth. Your creative, artistic talent and humor. May you rest in peace.